Hey guys, how we doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. You know what? I can't believe this is my third. Well, it's actually my fourth live stream, but third scheduled live stream, which means I've been here 6 weeks yesterday. Doesn't the time go fast? I'll just say hi to everyone as usual. Quick hi to Anders. Always put that message in there, and hi to Chris. I'm glad you're in, Chris, because I don't think Damon's in Pattaya at the moment, so he's not going to be sitting watching my live stream. I shouldn't think. And I spoke to Frankel this week. He's driving, he's got a driving job, so he's all over the place. I'm going to go straight in and say a big thank you to Thai American for that $20 for the doggo. Funny enough, first of all, thank you. That's very generous of you, and I do read and respond to all your messages. As you know, I didn't expect that so early in. Funny enough, we were talking about getting a dog because we've been going on and on about it, and we're kind of before I get one, I've got to make sure I can find a cheap place to board him. I don't want to be tied down because of a dog. And I know in Hua Hin, about 4 miles from me, there's a pet hotel where I can board him. So we're going to go and speak to them first tomorrow. Tuesday, and then hopefully we can hopefully get the dog. There's two breeds in Thailand. One is the one that looks like the soy dogs, and there's another one that's, I forget the name of it, but it's got a Bangkok, something like that. A lot of hair around its mane, but it doesn't seem to be affected by the heat because it's Thailand. It's a Thai dog. Right. So yeah, Crypto Chris, hi. Before we go any further, let me just put the currencies up there. Thai baht's doing extremely well at the moment, so you can see your what's going on there. A couple of comments about Nick Dean there. We'll get to them in a sec. I'll just say hi to anybody who's watching on Facebook now, because I am streaming on 3 platforms now. Okay, Lost in Green. Good day. Been watching since the Water in the Daisies day. Happy days, but always on rewind because of the time difference. But today I'm in Kuala Lumpur. Will be in Thailand in 2 days. Can't wait for the good times ahead. It's high season now. It's very, very busy. There's something I want to say, but I'll wait till I get to that comment before I say it. I'll read the guy's comment out first. Paul, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you in the stream. Innovations, usual crowd. Good to see you in. I'm always looking here now because it's like UK. I've set up like the UK. I've got my cameras over there. One thing I've had to do, I don't know if I mentioned this, because I'm in a big room here. It's a bedroom, actually. I've made it into an office. There was an echo, and what I have to do is every time I record a story or I do a live stream like this, I have to take 4 pillows off the bed and kind of pyramid them in front of me here, and it absorbs the sound bouncing off the wall, so there isn't much of an echo now. Where are we? Paul, Gringo Pappy, how you doing? Greetings from Pigtown, Pattaya. I don't know how to pronounce that. Flubide, is it? Why did I don't know. I put that up. I don't even know what that means. Uncle Willie B, how you doing? Greetings from Turlock, California, this early, 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up on a Sunday morning at 5 a.m.? Or maybe you've just finished a night shift. Watin Loon, hi Peter, just arrived back in Hua Hin yesterday for 3 months. Maybe bump into you around town sometime. No doubt. I mean, it's crazy down here. In Bangkok, I'd get recognized twice a week, maybe. In Pattaya, maybe once a day. Down here, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I'm not looking for fame. I'm not like one of these guys who's got an ego. I get recognized by at least 3 people every single day when I'm out, and it was 5 the other day. And this is a true story. I was riding into town. I was at a junction, and I farang on a scooter across just over there on his scooter. He's like, "Hey, Thailand bound!" All right. I went down the road. Someone's coming towards me, and he put his hand up. He says, "Peter, I watch you all the time." And then I went further. I mean, it's crazy, and I'm not used to that kind of. That kind of. I don't mind it, but it's just funny down here in Hua Hin. I'm getting recognised a lot. Macmillan Nurse, thank you very much for your SAR 39. A few quid for a top man. Appreciate it, really do. Okay, few stories for you later on. Few interesting stories. There's some good bits and pieces in the comments. Let me just over 100 in now. That's good. Let me just get rid of this. We'll put the currencies up a bit later on. And you do know, if you're coming to Thailand and you've never been here before, I think most people have been here, but I do this. It sounds weird. I'm not a doctor. I do this kind of consultancy thing where if you want some information one-on-one, we just sit and talk. It's like a live stream. You're on one half, I'm on the other half, but it's private. You can just, if you QR code that, there's a QR code there. If you put your phone on that and QR code it, it will take you straight to the page on my website where you can read all about it, how much it costs. It's not very much. And there's different options for times. Okay, you can rewind that if you want to show my age. Yeah, rewind it. Okay. Martin Ryder, how you doing, Martin? Bad news on Nick Dean in hospital in PP, but good news is guest friendly. Okay, I don't know what that is, Martin. I haven't heard about that. Shane, nice to see you in, one of the early subscribers. Hey, Peter, great to catch you live. I hope everything's going well down there in Australia, Shane. Colin Moore, hi Peter, hi. Rainy season doesn't. This is what I wanted to talk about, just really briefly. So rainy season doesn't seem to want to end here. So luckily, we had when we first moved in the first week, it was heavy rain for about 3 days, and I was a little bit concerned. I was looking out the big windows we've got at the front at the soy, and it was starting to not fill up, but it was got to the point where I'm like, is this, we're gonna have to stop loading sandbags. And but it was nothing. It went away. But down in the south, it's really dreadful. I mean, people have been up on, had to be rescued for their roofs. I'm sure you've seen the news. The water's up to people's gutters. I mean, it's been terrible down there, and there doesn't seem any end in it. But a guy left a comment on my Facebook page today. Was it on this one? I can't remember. I think it was Facebook. And he said, you should be covering the floods down in the south. Not talking about this or that. And I'm like, if there was floods here in Hua Hin, of course I'd be out there with my camera. But there's professional news channels down there in the south, so I'm not going to be better than them, aren't they? I don't know why people write stuff like that. Prince Fergus, good morning. How you doing? Gringo Pop, where is it raining? Down south, mate. Down south. Anders Bergman, hi. Colin Moore, Bangkok is still raining here. Okay. I haven't had nothing here for a while now. It's hot today, very hot. Lovely last week, really. I'll tell you, I mentioned it the last time. One thing I like about here in Hua Hin, which is different to Pattaya, you get a good breeze off the ocean, right? You don't get that in Pattaya so much. You can be walking down the beach road and it's sticky, it's still, there's no air. It's very rare you get a little bit of a breeze. But down here, you get strong winds. If you're walking along the coastline, I mean, it's literally like it takes away the humidity completely. And it's very, very pleasant. I did that live stream last week from the beach. Thoroughly enjoyed the weather there. An old mate of mine there, Andrew, how you doing? Evening, Peter. Hope you've settled in well in your new home. I'll be arriving in Hua Hin next Friday night. Okay, that's good next week because I haven't got a live stream, so we'll meet up for a beer, but it'll have to be an early one. I'm not allowed out late, Andrew. You know what it's like, henpecked and all that. Not too early, though. Right, cool meow music. How you doing? Steve Perry, excited there on Facebook. Wheelchair Bound 69. Hi, how you doing? The bloke, evening all. Good crowd in tonight. Still people coming in. Somebody said sound. I mean, I think more people would have told me if there was no sound. I checked it all tonight. There is sound. Thank God. Right, Richard. Hi, Peter. Not sure if it applies to you, but from January 5th, if you're a landlord in the UK, you must have a license. Hefty fines if you've not done one. I haven't heard nothing about that. It's just a. I don't know if it's for just like small landlords like me or like private landlords or big companies or whatever. But it's Rachel Reeves. She's just got a hand in everybody's pockets, isn't there? And this whole thing about a license, it's just to get more money. It's a money grab, isn't it? And it wouldn't surprise me if it's not just a landlord's license, but you have to have a license for each property. She's already put 2% tax up, and that's on everything. It's not on profits. So there's no money in it anymore, is there? I mean, I'm thinking of selling up. The business model was actually the growth on the property, the asset, but it's just not worth it now. And hefty fines, I bet it is really hefty. I bet it's something stupid like £20,000 or something. But I'll find out. I'll write to my accountant. Get a Bully XL, says Martin. Thai American, that's the one. I can't say the word, but that's the name of the dog. Yeah, there's only two breeds that are national. There's only two breeds that are from Thailand, actually. One is the one that, the big strong Ridgeback, which it's mostly the soy dogs, isn't it? And this one, which is a nicer dog. It's kind of friendly with your family, but guards your property. Shane, Richard, you have a register online, but they haven't set up the system yet. Okay. I'll have a look on that because it's all on the internet, hasn't it? That hasn't cheered me up, though, I'll be honest with you. John, good evening, Peter, from Bang. I don't. How do you say the middle name? Yai, Bang Yai. I can't say the middle name. P, is it? Bang P Yai. Sapa Prakan. Okay, good to see you watching from Thailand. It's up to you. Oops, nearly missed a stream. Thought it was in an hour. Rain and Blood, you put 7th of November instead of December on the video title. Did I really? I'm always doing that. Because what I do, it does not. If you're a subscriber, it will notify you saying I'm going live. But I did it last time as well because what it is, because I know although the streams are only every 2 weeks, I've got competitions in the members stream that take me hours to set up, spot the ladyboy, spot the Thai girl, jokes, all the rest of it. So what I do is on a Monday after the stream, so like today I'm doing the streams, tomorrow, I do the thumbnail, I set it up, I do everything tomorrow, which should take me about 3-4 hours. And then I know it's done. I don't have to worry in 2 weeks' time. I can just press go and away I go. But I often put the wrong date on it, but I hope it won't affect us too much tonight. And I think what I'm going to do as well, I really enjoyed that stream from the beach. Unfortunately, it's hard to put comments on the stream, on the screen with a phone. And I've got a 10-inch small tablet, and I tried hooking up the internet from the phone to the tablet, and it works, but the quality of the camera on the tablet is terrible, so I'm just going to stick to the phone. But I think I'm going to try and visit some beaches on Sundays, where that really nice beach I went to last Sunday. I'm planning to go to another one next Sunday and just sit in a deck chair, a nice comfortable chair. I might as well go live and just talk to everybody, show you the beach. Unfortunately, the picture seems to go quite a bit when when I'm walking about, but sitting still, it was quite good. People seem to like it as well. Flu Biddy, the Bucky, I don't know what that means. Still don't know what it means. The Buckies, man, they are supposed to be world famous. No, I think that's a wind up. Right, unless I get a proper explanation for that, I'm not going to read any of them out again. The bloke, 97 watching, but only 12 likes. Come on, dudes. Actually says 127 watching from my end. Mate, yeah, that was you probably put the stream up a while longer. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, if you're sitting in front of a computer, in front of a laptop or something, you're able to give me a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. I know everybody says that, but it is good. There's a lot of channels competing out there now. Black Bolt, how you doing? You've changed your name. You're not Black Bolt anymore. You're Big Bolt 007. Hi, Peter. You will be making special appearances around town next. People don't believe this. I'm actually quite a shy person. I haven't got a problem sitting in front of a camera. In the dark days of COVID, we'd have 600 people in the stream. But if you put 50 people on a yard or a stretch of grass, said, right, stand up on that box and talk to them, I'd be shaking like a leaf, Gringo Pappy, yes, saw it on your Facebook page. He was a clown. Okay, I forgot already who we were talking about. Oh, okay, yeah, the guy who was telling me I should be reporting on the floods when there isn't any floods in Hua Hin. Yeah, Paul, that's the last thing I want to do, mate, is open a bar. There's a lot of bars down here now. I'll tell you something. I want to, just before I go into the next, because you said bar, Paul, it's just reminding me of something. Before I go to the next comment, I was having a discussion with a friend the other day, and there's a lot of older retired guys down here. And guys with money, they own villas with pools. I don't have a villa and a pool. I live in a nice little house. You've seen the video, but we haven't got any landscape gardeners or, swim pool or anything like that. But there is a lot of guys down here. It's different to the crowd who go to patio, I think. What it is, I've seen hundreds of guys, but they've got girls with them, and they're not bar girls. They're out shopping together in the supermarket. They're on the back of their bikes. And, when it's a bar girl with a guy, she sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see she's got bar girl written all over her, right? But these are genuine girls. Like I'm here with my girlfriend, right? And I'm thinking, how have all these guys managed to hook up with Thai girlfriends, long-term girlfriends? Because the population of Hua Hin is about 69,000. Okay, there's only so many decent available girls that Farangs could maybe get involved with, and I've come to the conclusion people must have girlfriends all over Thailand, Bangkok, Phuket, wherever, like me, Bangkok as well, and they've got their girlfriends, and they, like me, we used to go out in the car and we'd go to Pattaya, we'd go to Bang Sarai, we'd go to Rayong, we'd come to Hua Hin, and a lot of people come here and think, wow, this is a really nice town, if you're a couple, and they come and settle down. But there is, I was in where was I? Bangkok the other day. That's a big market in town, and you couldn't get a seat, but there were lots of couples in there, Right, let's read this one out. David, counting down till I'm back in Pattaya, 21 days, just in time for New Year's Eve. Thanks for the content and interesting insight to life in Thailand. Cheers. You're welcome, David. Thank you very much for watching. I've thrown the boat out a little bit this year. Christmas Day, I used to go to my friend Simon's house every year, and he invited me this year, and I thought, I can't be bothered traveling up to Bangkok. I'm going up in February to do something with Peter from Thai Legal with a few other YouTubers. I've not really collaborated with other YouTubers too much. The odd interview, with Buzzin and Bangkok Pat a couple of times, but I've not really collaborated with a bunch of guys. And Peter wants us to do something, so I'm going up in February, and I've decided because of that, I'm just going to treat Christmas like a normal day. I'm not particularly religious myself. When I had children and they were grown up, it was very exciting seeing them come running down the stairs in the morning, having the Christmas dinner and all the rest of it. My girlfriend's a Buddhist, she's Thai, so Christmas doesn't really mean anything to her. Loy Katong, that's the big one for her. And so I think I'm going to just treat Christmas like a normal day. But what I have done, I've booked a riverfront restaurant on the seafront rather. The restaurant goes out into the sea, and they have a nice big buffet, a band, glass of champagne at midnight and stuff. That's cost me 6,000 baht for 2 people, but it's once a year, isn't it? And hopefully that'll be a good night. Right, Tom Brown, here in Hatyai, my condo is still without electricity and water. I've been in a hotel since Friday. Was a tough few weeks. City is like a war zone. It's awful shame, but getting there slowly. Tom, I feel for you. I've seen it on the news, and I've said to my girlfriend, we've been watching it, on TNT and all this sort of thing, the Tiger, and and I turned to her and I'm like, what an awful time those people are having. I don't know how I think what I would do is pack a bag and move to another town until it all got back to normal. But then you've got the worry of people robbing you, haven't you? Robbing your house. Although it doesn't seem as bad here as it would do in somewhere like the States or England. Martin, not too early here, 4 a.m. That's early. Okay, Martin says landlord licenses only in some areas. Well, that's a bit better news. Teddy, love your videos, Pete. Always look forward to them. I miss Thailand so much. It certainly beats Irish weather. Thanks for that. I do get a lot of haters. It's always nice to get a few nice compliments as well. Godlike 915. Enjoy the live feeds, Peter. Just got to Pattaya, so Sharon's shaving out. Don't blame you. Don't blame me. Okay. All right. I'll put it up on screen there. Pronounce plea. Okay. Right. Thai American. I love my beaches. Is that what you mean? Beaches, really? Okay. Gary, hi. Be in Thailand 13th to 12th, 25 for a month. Good stuff. Very, very busy at the moment. Expect high prices in the hotels and entertainment areas. The beach stream was great, says Uncle Willie. Well, I'll promise I'll try and do another one next Sunday. I just feel a lot more relaxed sitting on the beach, It was actually my girlfriend who told me to do it. She said, why don't you do a live stream? I'm like, oh, I got one next week. I'm relaxing. And she says, no, you'll enjoy it. And I did. Gringo Pop, England lost the second Ashes test. Hope you're not too damp here. No, not at all. I think I've mentioned a lot of times on this stream, I'm one of the rare guys. I'm just not into sports at all. The nearest I get to sports is watching snooker on TV, and you can hardly call that snooker. Here's a question for you. Here's a question. I'll just throw it out there, see how many people get it right. I can't remember the exact year, but professional snooker wasn't featured on TV in the 60s and early 70s. Why do you think that was? I do know the answer, and you can look it up, but just try for fun to try and guess what it is. Don't look it up on Google and then tell me, because it's just cheating, is it? But there was no professional snooker. It was a professional game in the 60s and early 70s, but it wasn't on TV until later in the late 70s. Why do you think that was? Let's have your answers now. Press that button, as they say. Bradley, hi Peter from a rainy UK. I'm happy your move has gone well. It has. It's taken a bit. It's little bit difficult for the change, because it's hard for my girlfriend, because she was running around a hospital all day chasing people for money. That was her job, right? And she was dealing with hundreds of people on a daily basis, and it's busy, and she's in that atmosphere. And suddenly she's on her own. She's got no friends down here. And the same for me. The hustle and the bustle of Bangkok. I used to go out on Soi 8, and there's just tourists everywhere. There's the BTS. There's noise. High-rise buildings, and here after kind of 8:30, our street, it's just so quiet, and then you hear chickens in the morning, but I don't regret it. Okay, Martin, NDTV Thailand 3 hours ago, Ed Sweeney update. Eddie is no longer eating food. He is being force-fed by tubes with a liquid. He's also barely conscious. He is, however, in no pain. Prayers for Eddie. It's terrible, isn't it? It's absolutely terrible. I feel for the guy. I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. We did exactly the same thing. He worked in the UK. I worked in the UK. He'd been to Thailand lots of times. I'd been to Thailand lots of times. We both traveled all over the world, and he'd made up his mind up. The time has come now. I'm 60. I've got a little bit of money. I think I can make it in Thailand. He come out to Thailand with his heart set on retiring for the rest of his life out here, or for as long as he could. And he lasted, I think, 4 or 5 months before he had to be go back to the UK because of that terrible thing. It could have been me. I'm into my 4th year now. I've just had medical checks. I'm fine. I don't know how long I've got, but there's nothing in the short horizon. It's just a luck of the draw, isn't it? He didn't smoke as far as I know. I know he was a bit of a heavy drinker, but I'm a heavy drinker in the evenings, not in the day. And I feel for the guy. I really do. And looking back, those great streams we did during COVID, one was 3 hours long and one was 5 hours long. 600 people in the stream, and so many people got a kick out of that stream, including me and Eddie. Great days. I really feel for the guy. It's so sad. Right. Okay. Lost in Green. You should cover all the weather news, and you should not okay. Bye. Let's just get rid of him. Right. Another armchair critic. Right. Kev, Peter, can I ask if you could put the clocks back? Would you still have the COVID jabs? No, I wouldn't. I don't have any sort of suspicions like there was some world organized plan to kill off a load of us or anything like that. But I just think I still got COVID after jabs, and I had 4 of them. And I think what it was, I think governments just put something together to give people peace of mind to think, oh, I'm okay now because I've had the jabs. It was the jabs were put together in such a short amount of time, something like 7-8 months or something, when normal medicines take years before they're approved, and they put this out on the market. And I just think it was a bit like in the Second World War, they had aircraft guns in Hyde Park, and they used to go off when German bombers come across. But looking at history, they hardly hit anything, but it was good for the morale of the people because they'd be in these shelters getting bombed by the Luftwaffe, excuse me, and they could hear these Akai guns going off in Hyde Park, so they felt like, okay, we're giving them it back, but they didn't really do anything. And I think it's the same with COVID. I think the government were panicking, and they thought, right, well, we'll bring out this injection, and everybody was getting these injections, including me, and we were thinking, okay, we're safe now, we're not going to get knocked off. So a long answer to your question, definitely not. I would definitely not go through it again. Richard, Peter, how are your neighbours? Any Farang close by? How far is the 7-Eleven? That's a good question, actually. There's only one Farang in the street, and I haven't met him yet. But the Thai neighbours around, they're really nice people. Okay, the guy next door, he's a chef in one of the hotels. He came over the fence. He's talking to my girlfriend for half an hour. He said hi to me. The guy across the road, he came on his scooter when I came. I looked at him, and because I'm older, he wide me. If you're older in Thailand, it don't matter where you're from, the younger one will wire you. And everyone's really friendly. And we've got bananas growing at the back of the house, and they come in stacks, and one's about ready. And I'm going to cut it down. My girlfriend's going to chop it up into about 6 to 8 portions of bananas, and she's going to go around the neighbors and just give them these bananas. That'll be a nice gesture, I think. Thai American, Peter, can you please do a time lapse video of your of the grass growing? Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest. I mean, I've been putting videos up on Facebook about my grass. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but some people do find it interesting. Some of the comments are hilarious. So when I first moved in, when they build these houses, they put turf down in the gardens, okay? And it looks really nice when you come in. You think, yeah, we'll buy this place. But of course, you go back to Bangkok for 4 weeks. Nobody's watering new grass. It's burning sun. And it dies, but luckily it was in the rainy season, so it didn't die completely. And I've been trying to rescue it. I've been watering it every night. I've been putting fertilizer on it. I bought 2,000 baht worth of grass seeds. Bags of soil have been laying, and it's coming back real nice. And I've been documenting that. And some people find it interesting, but some of the comments are hilarious. One guy said, I'm glad I watched this video tonight. I just don't know how I wouldn't have slept. Another guy wrote, this is real Cannes Film Festival stuff. But the best one, a guy says, I don't know how I came across this video, but I'm watching a video about some guy's grass, but I'm actually enjoying it, But I'm going to continue to upload them. I mean, it's Facebook, right? I can't upload the same stuff on Facebook as I do on YouTube. Right, am I behind in these comments? Not really. What time? 8:20. 6 minutes behind. Let's get through these. Oliver, no, I don't watch football, mate. As I said many times, I'm not a sports person. Come to Pattaya, Flu Birdie, is it? Come to Pattaya first time recently, divorced and hoping to find love of my life. Oh, please don't go back and watch, volumes 1 to 300. Don't look for a full-time girlfriend in Pattaya. If you want to look for a full-time girlfriend, go on the dating sites from Bangkok or another town, not Pattaya. Everyone else here will tell you the same thing. Exactly, Martin. I asked that question about the why snooker wasn't on TV until the early 70s, and it was exactly that, because the balls are coloured and snooker balls are different scores, and it was black and white, so you couldn't tell what was what. And when colour TV was finally introduced, they brought it onto TV. So well done to Martin, well done to the bloke. Bradley, well done to you. Probably a few more. Ben Lino, Richard. Okay, there'll be some more in a minute. I'll say thank you to, or congratulations. Nick says smoking and drinking alcohol whilst playing. It wasn't that. Okay, it was all the rage, and you could smoke anywhere. I remember in the mid 80s when I flying around, with the hotels. I remember last 12 rows on the aircraft had ashtrays, and we were smoking. Me and a guy I just met in the airport had a bottle of Black Label or Red Label on a table. We were playing cards, and with Benson Hedges on my table and something else on his. You know, it was normal. So bad, wasn't it? Handsome Farang, yeah, you got it right. Black and white TV. Paul says, love the turkey bar girls. Okay, we'll stop it at there. Raymond, yeah, you got it right. Oliver Scott, watch. All right. Thank you, Thai American. I think in 3 years, go to Bangkok, Krong Thep, which means Bangkok. I don't miss Bangkok at all. People said I'd miss it. I miss Benji Kitty Park, and I miss going to the Red Lion at 6 p.m. for a couple of pints every night. But I've got a beer kind of garden where they serve food over here called Luna Market, which is okay. It's 2 miles from my house, and I can go over there and have a beer most nights just to get out of the house. So look, Shane, you said I miss the old Benson and the Hedges ads on the snooker. Do you remember what was a cigarette that had a black packet and gold writing? Was it JPS? And they're always on the Grand Prix. You had those. I remember going to where was it in England? They've got the big one. I forgot. Not Santa Pod. That's a drag racing, isn't it? Oh God, Bernie Ecclestone. You know where I'm going with this one, right? Silverstone. So I remember going to Silverstone to watch a big motorcycle. I was quite a big motorcycle fan when I was young, couldn't afford a car, and probably about 18, 19. And we went to Silverstone, a whole bunch of me and my friends, and there was these girls in the JPS uniform, little mini skirts on, and they had kind of little thing strapped to them like this with cigarettes, loose cigarettes, and they were going around. You could just help yourself to cigarettes, and it was so normal back then, you know. Kenny, I remember the snooker when we changed from black and white TV to color. The presenter said, for those of you watching in black and white, the pink ball is just behind the red. Right. Okay. Some of my jokes tonight in the members area are worse than that one. Have you got a favorite local restaurant? Yeah, got a couple. Yeah, there's one I'm really disappointed. It's a Thai restaurant, and the food is excellent and it's cheap. And, mate, but they let smokers go there, and I'm not going to preach about smoking. I was a smoker, but when you're eating your dinner, smoke doesn't just hang over your table. It goes everywhere. And if you're a non-smoker, it's pretty awful when you're eating. So I don't go there anymore. But a friend introduced me to a really good Thai restaurant on Soy 102. And that's Thai food. And you know what I really like down here? In most of the restaurants, bars, apart from the kind of Farang, like the really Western bars, like the equivalent to something like Hooters. There isn't a Hooters down here, but that style of bar. Most of the restaurants and the regular bars down here, you pay 65 baht for a large bottle of Chang. 65 baht. I mean, I remember in Bangkok around Sukhumvit where I lived. Okay, the Red Lion I got a good deal, happier. But some of the bars, we were paying like 170 baht for a small Heineken. I'm paying 65 baht for a large Chang, and also a bowl of fries, French fries, chips, right? In Bangkok around Sukhumvit, they were anywhere from if you got them for 100 baht, you'd be lucky. I mean, some of them, Det 5 where I live, they're charging like 170 baht for a plate of chips, whereas down here it's 45 and 50 baht. So prices are significantly lower down here, and I have noticed, a big saving in money. Kenny, okay, did I read that one out? Right, I did, yeah. The bloke, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, Hua Hin's not for everyone. I know people have come down here and they said, oh, it's a boring town. I couldn't stay down here. They've got a lot of beer bars down here, and they've got that scene down here, but there's no go-go bars. It's nothing like Pattaya, about the same size as Pattaya, but it's a different vibe down here. So I'm not trying to sell it to anybody. I'm not trying to say it's better than somewhere else, but, I'm 66 in April. I've got a full-time girlfriend. For my time in life, for what I want, I've done all that. I've done the go-go bars and the beer bars and the weekends in Pattaya and drinking till 6 in the morning and then going for a Nana burger and all that sort of thing. And I loved it. I've got no bad memories from it. It was great times. I was younger then. But, at my time in life, I don't want to sound like I've got one foot in the grave, but that's not what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for, I'm looking for nice meals, nice days out, nice beaches to go to, nice drives, meeting good friends, meeting viewers, and that, it suits me here, and I've got a lot of nice space now. I never thought I'd be living in a house over here, looking after my grass, my pet at the moment, my grass. So it's not for everybody. Jamie, is it? Hi all, just got back from England from a Bangkok Pattaya holiday. Bangkok prices for ladies never stayed steady the last 12 months since November 24. They're a lot cheaper than they are in Bangkok. One guy left a comment today, because I put out a post on Facebook saying I'm doing a live stream at 8 o'clock tonight. It'd be nice if you can join me. And one guy left a message and he said, "Oh, can you talk about the bars and the girls again? Because it's getting boring now." Well, like I said to you just now, I'm kind of outgrowing that now, and the channel's kind of pushing towards a different direction. Like the government hospital video I did the other day. People find that sort of stuff interesting, don't they? So there's plenty of manga channels out there now. I mean, you look at the channels based in Pattaya. I won't name names, but there's channels down there. They're just dedicated to Soy 6, Walking Street, young guys telling you how much they can live down there for the girls. It's not. What am I going to add to it? I did that a few years ago, but I've kind of gone away from that now. And I think people realize that, and if it's not for them anymore, they'll move on to one of those channels, right? If that's what they want to watch. James says Brian Ferry for Pattaya in some instances has doubled. Okay, you're talking about the price of girls again. Okay, is it the anniversary or something, Thai American? Billy Carley, I worked there on Facebook. I worked in Vegas where the casinos force employees to get the job. To get the job, no jab, no job. And it was the same in the UK with the NHS. They brought out a rule and they said, well, if you're not going to have the jab, the COVID jab, then you can't work for the NHS. And some people refused and they got fired. And I think they ended up suing the NHS. I think they won as well. Right, Gringo Pop, have you found a nice Indian restaurant hang on, what's going on here? Your battery is running low. I should be on power. Hang on, guys. Why am I not on power? Bear with me. So my USB is plugged in, so I should be. That's really weird. Why am I not on power? Bear with me, guys. If I go off, I will come back. Because the battery is nearly out. That shouldn't be a... God. Has that done it? Right, I think... for fuck's sake. Interested. Not finding my camera. This camera's no good. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Bloody hell. That's terrible. No background. Okay. Why is only half the webcam there? No, it's not that. Right. Can somebody let me know if I'm here? Yeah, I know. Just let me know. You're facing some ads. Okay. There's no ads up. Can I mean, okay, right. So apologies. That's the third the third live stream I've done that's gone wrong. And I tell you what it is. I found out what it is because I had to kick them all off, and I hadn't switched on. Well, I'd accidentally switched off the power because there's so many plugs there to the laptop that had been going on battery, so it was working. But now it's on. Everything's working. I had to do a reboot. It couldn't find my. Get the old mic over a bit more. It couldn't find. Anyway, it was one. Let's start where we left off. Look, beads of sweat running down me now. I always turn the brightness down so my glasses don't glare too much. Okay, who are we going to start with? Let's go back to. I've actually lost a lot of comments now, guys. So leave it again. Okay. So now you actually know what's behind me, right? Because this beautiful picture is just a picture. It's what's called a green screen. Right. Let's go down. Let's get some new ones here. Okay, so everyone's saying I'm back. That's okay. So I was only gone for 5 minutes. It seems longer, especially for me, because I was in panic mode. Okay. Crypto, hi. Crypto Chris, hi. David Gear, some ads are running over your voice. Not now, right? I don't know why there'd be ads. I've not run any ads. Okay. God, I was in a flow. I was telling you stories and it's gone now. Let me start with a story, something that happened recently, just to try and get my mojo back, okay? Hopefully everything's good. So here's a little story from this week, right? In there's some ignorant gits about, right? Who's that? Mark Hanley. Thank you, Mark. You're not an ignorant git. You're a very nice man. Background all sorted now, Peter. Thanks, Mark. A couple of beers. Thank you. Tomorrow in the Luna. Yeah, so look, you get some really... some real ignorant gits, some real ignorant people. So here's what happened yesterday. I went into a mall called Market Village. It's similar to Terminal 21, one of those sort of places. So, if you're on a rented scooter in Pattaya, for instance, you go to Terminal 21. I've never actually been to the parking in Terminal 21 in Pattaya, only in Bangkok. But I'm presuming you go down into the basement and you've got all these spaces for the bikes. And there's probably 500 to 1,000 scooters and motorbikes parked up. You park up and you go in the basement door and you're in the mall. Okay, so because it was a Saturday yesterday, sometimes they let you park. The bikes are in a kind of square with all the markings, but because it's busy, sometimes they let you park outside the railing, one row. And you're at a kind of 40 degrees angle like that. So you slip in when you see an empty space. So I go down there and it's really busy. And I see one guy, he's come. I wasn't waiting for his space. There was an older guy, a bit older than me, I should think, quite a bit older than me. And he had a youngish guy with him. And he didn't look Thai, but I don't know if it was his son or his boyfriend or, I'm not joking. He looked about, 28, this guy, young to me, okay? So the space is to the left of this guy's motorbike, okay? This scooter. So he's come out of the shop and he's getting on the scooter. And I'm trying to get to the left of him. So he's standing on the space that I'm trying to get into. And normally, if that was me, if I was standing on the space and I heard I could hear a bike come up and stop behind me. I'd look round. I'd be like, oh, you're right, mate. And I'd just move to the back of my bike. Or if I was still do it from this side. So I'm there. He looks at me and he just ignores me. And he's messing about with his seat and all this. And I'm getting a bit upset about this, because he's kind of looked at me. He knows I want to come into that space, but he's just taking his time about it and he couldn't give a damn. So I'm kind of getting pissed off. So when he finally moved out, I kind of pulled into the space, but not gently. I kind of came in and skidded to a stop. Well, the younger guy started giving me some attitude. So, sometimes you got to bluff it out here. So what I did, I have got my helmet. So normally you take your helmet off and put it on the bike, right? So he's giving me a look, this young guy. So I takes the helmet off and I just stood there and I held the helmet in my hand. And I just kind of didn't eyeball him, but I just looked around. And eventually the two of them I think it was his boyfriend, actually. I think the two of them actually got on the bike and then they went off. But all the way out, he was giving me this look. This younger guy was giving me this evil look. And I thought, if you were going to do something, you'd have done it while you were stood next to me. But there's just so many, wankers, basically, as we say in the UK. I don't know. All right, I feel better now. So now I've told a story. Let's get past all these... back on problem solved ones. Right. Okay, that's what I was going to answer before I went all haywire there. So have you found an Indian restaurant to replace your new Bukhara cravings? Bangkok is a big market. They have dancing girls, a live band. It's hundreds of people in there on a Saturday night, and they have an Indian stall there. And I can get rice, a chicken curry, and a piece of naan bread. It's not like you get in an Indian restaurant, but it's very good, and it's 180 baht. There's some very good Indian restaurants here as well. There's 3 or 4, and my friend has actually been to one of them, which he got 4 out of 5-star rating. So I haven't been to one of them yet, because unfortunately here they don't open till about 1 p.m. and I don't really like going for a big curry after kind of 4 p.m. because I just feel bloated all night. And this one at Bangkok, it's it's a bit smaller and it's doable. So yeah. Nothing like working up a sweat. Okay. Ryan says, I managed to put the dinner in the oven. That's good. Davir, if you grab the helmet by the chain guard, makes a great weapon to swing around. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't have done anything really, because that's why guys get thrown out of Thailand, isn't it? You know, how many guys you see, these little YouTube videos where guys are getting the shit kicked out of them down there in Pattaya because they're Johnny Bravos. You know, they walk around with invisible rolls of carpet under each arm, and they won't move out the way for anyone, and they get a bit cocky, and the more they drink, the more cocky they get, and then in the end they end up insulting a gang of lady boys, and end up going to hospital with a stiletto heel sticking out of their I was going to say brain, but let's just say head. Okay, so I've come to the end of the comments. I never come to the end of the comments. I'll go back and read some of the older ones till some of the newer come in. Let's get way past all these we've lost your comments. When it came on in a very horrible, that was the internal camera on the laptop. I don't use that. I use an exterior camera, much better quality. Paul. Okay, good. I found a question. So, hey, Peter, I hope you're well. What are the condo rental prices like in Hua Hin for 10 months rental? Pretty good. I bumped into a guy the other day. He's got a 2-bedroom house, but it's on a nice muban. A muban means kind of like an estate. So they got security at the gate, landscape gardens, a shed, nice big pool. And he's paying 12,000 baht a month. It's a 2-bedroom, but it's a standalone house in its own area, which is fenced off. But that's a little bit out of town. It's about 6 miles out of town. If you've got a car or a scooter, it's not an issue. I'm sure if you come in here for 12 months, you will have some sort of transport. In town, you're going to pay more. If you got yourself let's say, a 2-bedroom apartment, nice 2-bedroom apartment, you'd probably be looking at about 20, 25. A 1-bedroom apartment, maybe 15. If you're right in the center of town, 15, 16, 17, something like that. It's only when you move out of town a little bit, which isn't far. Like I live 7 miles away from the railway station, which takes me 15 minutes to get in on my scooter or bike, which isn't the end of the world. Had this place been right next to near the Hilton, for instance, it would have been 5 million. But because of where we were, it was 2.3 million. It's all about location, as they say. Trying to find some questions here because everybody's talking about he's gone. I'm going way back here. Right, Mike says, I haven't been back to Thailand since Desert Storm. I've always wanted to come back and visit, but not really sure where to go. Well, it's simple enough, Mike. I don't know what you're into. If you're a monger, or you just want to come back and see the country again, or just do the sights. You base yourself in Bangkok and have a few days there, and then just plan your trip. The great thing nowadays is it's not like when you were last here, I'm guessing the 90s. The infrastructure is fantastic. There's so many options for transport. You got the I'll call them by the regular names, the BTS, the SkyTrain runs all over Bangkok. You've got the metro runs all over Bangkok. You've got Grab, that's like Uber, I was going to say. You've got Bolt, which is another app. Everything's app now. You should give it a go. You'll have a good time. You really will. Tim Brown, evening, ladies and gents. I'm late introducing you there. Not sure what that means, Martin. I know who he is. Kev says, Peter, is your girlfriend okay? We were drinking in the house. Yeah, she's okay. She's really okay. All right, let me see if there's some more new comments come in now. I was just trying to get away from all of those, Right, where were we? How is the new home and neighbourhood feeling? I've kind of discussed that briefly, haven't I? So all's good. There's nothing bad. We haven't got any neighbours next door yet on one side. So some of the people in the street are a bit noisy and they do some funny extensions and things. Like I say, the guy who's on next door to is a chef. He's a good guy. He's not around all day. We hear him about 7 o'clock because they've got an outside kitchen, but not overly loud or anything. But some of the families, you know, they eat outside under the carport and they have music on. It doesn't disturb us, but I guess if it was right next door to us, one across the road and 3 houses up, they've got one of those little yappy dogs, and every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, it wakes me up, you know. But it's not like, oh, I can't get back to sleep. I hear it and I go back to sleep. Not every morning, some mornings. Steve, violence is not the answer. Absolutely right. But, you know, you've got to let people know you're ready. You know, if somebody swings a punch at you, you've got to, you know, let people know you're ready. Like the guy who threatened me, he said, if I see you in Sukhumvit Road, I'll smack you in the face. And that. I just wrote back and I said, you're assuming I wouldn't hit you back, you know. Are you planning to do any meetups, collabs with other Hua Hin YouTubers? I met one the other day, actually. I was walking, because you know the background videos I do. I've just released one of the first ones for the stories this week. And I was walking along, and there's a guy with a GoPro, and he says, and now Thailand Bound is just walking by. And I'm like, I'm filming here, you know. And he's like, you know, I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were filming. I'm like, I'm there with my camera, you know, like this. But it was okay. It was just a background video. But he introduced himself. He's got about, I don't know the name of his channel, but he's got about 12,000 followers, and he's a real kind of bar sort of person, Australian guy. And he'd gone to that fish and chip shop that I'd filmed, Superfish. And I'd said to James and the owners, I said, look, you know, I'm not going to release this to next week. If anybody else comes along, you know, wait until I've done this, release this video, so it'll kill my video. And he'd actually gone and he wanted to make a video, and they said, well, no, we've promised Peter. So I don't think he was too happy about that. Chrissy Tompkins, 720. Did you pull the USB of the external camera out and back in? I turned the whole thing off. What I did is when I realized it wasn't going to be a short fix, I took the pillars off the back there. I checked all the plugs, everything. And when it finally still doesn't happen for you, then you just do a reboot, and that normally solves everything, doesn't it? If you do not own neither a car nor a motorbike, can you still retire in Hua Hin where you have? What about nice beachside condo? Of course you can, but the thing is, it's not the transportation down here. Is they have Grab down here, so you can get around by Grab. They don't have any kind of real, public transportation like they have in Bangkok, and Pattaya. They have all those BART buses going round and round. You can hire one and say you want to go to Jumtian. You don't have to share it. But down here, it's really helpful if you've got a scooter or a car. If you live in the centre of town or a beach condo and, there's stuff around you, you're quite happy to, just go out a couple of days a week and take a Grab taxi, then you can. But I just don't think it'd be the same for me here, even if I lived in town without some sort of transportation. I'll tell you the other reason why. Oh, I'm thirsty. Because I'm talking about Hua Hin, but the thing is, because we're down south of Bangkok, there's so many beautiful beaches that are within 20 minutes, half an hour. You go out and it's like golden sands, palm trees hanging over the sands. And like this, I can't remember the name of it, but like the beach I was at last Sunday. I mean, you look at that, absolutely stunning, And if you've got transport, you can go in the morning and you can sit down and you can have some beach food. They've got, stalls where they cook food, and it's a really nice day. So yeah, it makes a big difference. Sean, how you doing? You did well on my YouTube warp wrap in my top 5. Yeah, I showed that to a lot of people, actually. Yeah, they were well impressed with that. Thank you for sending it, Sean. Paul, will there be a swimming pool in the future? I haven't got the room, Paul. Go and look at the video of my house. I put 3 videos up, and the third one was called something like my house ready to move in, fully furnished, something like that. And you can see I walk around the garden, the carport, inside all the rooms. I'm surprised you missed that one, actually, Paul. Greg, are there many apartment complexes in Hua Hin town? There is. There's lots of them. And there's agents as well. Bernie over there on Facebook, Heinz baked beans available. Oh my God, everything is available here. They've got a big C, and it's the upmarket one. They have different levels of big C, okay? And I can get fresh wholemeal bread that's baked that morning. Every foreign brand you can imagine, baked beans from Australia, Heinz baked beans, all the sauces, the radishes, vegetables, fruits, branded. I can even get Bovril and just stuff that you wouldn't get in a big C in Bangkok, because there's so many foreigners down here. They've got two types of big C. One is their regular big C, like we used to go to on Rama 4. It doesn't have a lot. That's why we went to Villa more. And they got two big Villa supermarkets. So anything you can't get in Big C or Lotus, another big one, you can get in Villa. There's nothing down here you can't get. I've tried to think of some food that I would like. I go to. I had a pizza the other night, a mushroom pizza, right, from a stand, right, a proper pizza. It was good. It wasn't huge, but it was about that size. 100 baht. I said, make me 3 of them. I took them home and put them in the freezer. So if I'm editing and I want something quick, the pizza goes in the microwave for a minute, and I've got a hot meal. Just now and again, I wouldn't eat it every other day, but it's, yeah, you can get everything down here. Anders, how you doing again? Oh, don't go there again. He's taking the mickey there. I've taken the post down now. So what he's talking about there, I never thought about pineapples where they grow before. And I was going through, coming back last Sunday, the sat-nav took me a back roadway, and there were fields and fields and fields. And my girlfriend says, oh, they're pineapples. And I looked at them. I said, I've never seen a pineapple grow before. And I don't know why. I thought they came off trees, right? And she was laughing her head off. And she says, no, they grow out the ground. I'm like, blimey, they're always so clean when you get them. They must industrial wash them. And I really thought they grew underground like turnips or Swedes or something like that. And a lot of people wrote in and said, no, you idiot, they grow in the center of the plant. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'll take that post down then. But I honestly didn't know, and I'd never thought about it. Alibaba and the 40 ladies, have you found a dog? We haven't found one yet, but we're getting close to actually going and buying one. I mentioned in the earlier part of the stream, I'm just checking out the dog hotel, not dogs where I can stay, hotel with a dog, places I can put the dog overnight if I want to go to Bangkok, that sort of thing. And there's one about 4 miles from here I'm going to check out this week. Innovations, how often do you change pounds to baht? The exchange rate has been getting worse last year. Sorry, US was 37, now under 7. So we'll put this up again and I'll answer your question if I can find the flipping thing. That's off today. Of course, that's not what you're going to get at a change booth. That's what the currency exchange is on the web today. You're going to get probably 50 cents, a few satang less than that, right? But in answer to your question, let's have a look at that again. Oh God, I've lost it. Where is that now? Okay, I think I remember. You said, how often do I change pounds to baht? Not very often, because what I do, I have money coming into my UK bank account, but because I don't trust Rachel Reeves and Red Starmer, what I do, because they're making a grab for everything, it wouldn't surprise me. I've heard that they're doing this thing where HMRC, our tax government tax, can in the future are going to be able to have access to your bank account, and if they think they owe you money, they don't have to ask you; they can just take it. Okay, it's called. I was looking at it today online. I forget the actual, there's a term for it, but I just don't trust them anymore. So what I do is money that comes into my UK bank, I wait until it's about £5,000, and then that £5,000 goes out to Wise, which isn't a bank, it's a money service. So it doesn't fall under the same rules, although your money is protected like a bank's money up to 85,000. And then what I do is I let it build up. And when I've got 3 bank accounts here, okay, one, I'm putting money, I'm trying to put 20,000 baht a month, because we're on a 23-year mortgage here, okay? I'm 66, and I want this asset to belong to her. If I kick my, clogs in 15 years, excuse me, and she's still got 10 years on a mortgage and she's not working, so I'm trying to put money away so eventually I can pay this off, and I'll be one of my own stories then, won't I? Number, volume, whatever. No, seriously though, and I've got an account where I keep money, so if I bring money from Wise, it stays there, and then I siphon money off that account to my K bank. So I might take, so I might bring 5,000 over here in pounds, and that's about £1,000 is about 2,500. Oh, hang on, got it wrong now. 25,000 baht, isn't it? 23,000 baht, something like that. So you're talking about, say, let's make it easy number. So I'll bring over 150,000 baht from the UK, and then that'll sit in my Bangkok bank. It's more than that, actually, but just as an example, let's do easy numbers. I'll bring 100,000 from England into what? Forget it. What I do is I siphon a little bit off into my regular account to pay rent and stuff like that. But in answer to your question, the majority of my money sits on my Wise account. So it's not in the UK, and it's not here in Thailand, and I don't bring it over on a weekly or monthly basis. When my accounts go low, might be once every 6 months, I'll bring a chunk over, and that'll last me for the next 6 months. I got really tongue-tied with that. I don't know why. Right, let's get rid of that. Okay. You're not going to let me live that one down, are you? The pineapple. I think I'd get. I think I'd get a lot of nastiness from the Thais if I started competing with them. Okay, yeah. I pay my taxes. I've never tried to. I've got an accountant back in the UK. She's good. I've got a few houses, very small houses. They're not, and they're owned by the banks. The business model is eventually, I hope to be able to sell them and get a few 100,000 out of them. It is that small. But I have an accountant, and every time I get maintenance on them, an agency keeps them, that charges me for them. She does my accounts every year, and then she'll tell me, look, you owe, I've got an allowance, haven't I? And she'll say you owe, £2,000-3,000, and I just pay it off to HMRC, which I hate doing because I'm not getting any benefit from it really. And so that I'm not the sort of guy they're going to be running after, because I'm not trying to I'm not trying to cheat them. Ronald, are you getting a puppy or an adult dog? Sorry, I missed the first hour. Well, I want to get a puppy, which is more work, but I want to get him, have all the injections and the certificate and everything, because in order to put one in these dog, what do you call it, compounds that keep them overnight, they'll want to see a certificate to say the dog's been vaccinated so that it doesn't infect all the other dogs. So I'll get a puppy, I'll get him vaccinated all properly and everything, so then I can train him up, train him not to pee in the floor in the house and stuff like that. Okay. URL drop Superbot, brother. You used to say 62, 63 seems like last week. How did you become 66? It just flies. I'm not 66 yet. I'm 66 in April. I'm still 65. When I separated with my wife and came out here, I was 62. It's just gone so quick. I can't believe I'm into the 4th year. Martin says there's 15 Turkish barbers down one street here, but they are going after landlords. I know. It's not even funny, is it? The reason I have to keep jumping up on my seat here, I fell down and I hurt the bone on the bottom of my, the bone that's at the top of your bum. I don't know how I fell down. I'd had a few too many, I think. And it's been absolute agony for the last 2.5 weeks. And it's just now starting to alleviate. The pain's starting to go. It's about 50% now. But because it's on the bottom of my spine, when I sit for long periods, it starts to hurt. So I have to kind of sit on my left leg to, take the weight off, as it were. Is that right? It shows FCA protection is now 120,000. Okay, well, I haven't got anywhere near that. Nothing like that. But it was 85,000, wasn't it? Anders, do you miss the Terminal 21 sourdough bread in the mornings? No, because they do it here. They've got the same bakery here around us. So that bakery that they have in Terminal 21, it's got a French name, but it's actually a Japanese company. It's a Japanese company, but they gave it a French name. So when you look at it, you got the feeling it's a French bread company. It's not. It's Japanese owned, but they're a chain. And that exact same bread bakery you're talking about in the basement of Terminal 21, they've got the same one in Big C here. So when I buy bread, get it sliced up, and I get it frozen. So I'm buying the exact same wholemeal sourdough bread for 80 baht, and it's really good. They bake it every morning. I don't think there's too much sugar in it, like regular bread, and not too many chemicals. Greg over there on Facebook, what a nice man. Good luck to you. I was kind of thinking there was going to be a bit of sarcasm there, but there isn't. Thank you. What a nice man. Good luck to you. Look forward to you. Clips. Happy Christmas. Thanks a lot, Greg. That's very nice of you to say. Martin says HMRC AI computer connect going through social media. Okay, so this is another thing. Obviously I earn money on YouTube. Not a huge amount, but I do earn a reasonable amount on YouTube, a tiny amount on Facebook. And my last accountant made me pay tax on it. Luckily, it was only 1 year, and I changed accountants. And I said to her this year, I said, look, I'm a bit concerned because I did, do I need to pay? I don't live in the UK. I haven't been back at any time. My money gets paid from YouTube into my UK bank account. Do I have to pay tax? And she said, if you haven't been living in the UK and that money wasn't earned in the UK, you don't pay tax. Not even if you put it into a UK bank account. So it's been earned outside of the UK. And I haven't been back in the UK, so I don't have to pay tax on my UK earnings, which is really good. I have to pay a little bit to, well, I won't get into the details too much, but it's, the UK's got a lot higher than some other places, hasn't it? I mean, here it's only 7%. Alibaba, in Bangkok, you were swimming, cycling, and exercising more. Funny enough, I went for a walk tonight. I still exercise. I sold my bike. I got bored with the bike. I can't swim here because I don't have a swimming pool. But there's a real big Muban about a mile from here. It's got 5 Mubans within it, and it's got a big, long, straight road that's lit up, no soy dogs, nice walking, with a big roundabout at the end of it. And we go up, park the motorcycle across the road, and we walk down there. We go round the roundabout at the end, come back up. We do 3 of them, which takes us half an hour. Security don't blink an eyelid at us because there's other people walking up and down. We're wearing vest shorts and trainers, so they assume we live there, which we don't. And that's as best as we can get it. I found a nice park to walk in called Queen's Park, but it's 8 miles away, so it's a 16, what is that, 14, 8 and 8, 16. Yeah, it's a 16 mile round trip. Well, you can't do that every day. I'll be using, well, I'll tell you what, like I said to you last time, I didn't realize is how much fuel I'd be using here. I'm trying to use a scooter as much as I can. So I'm filling that up once a week, which is about 300 baht. It's a 160 engine. So I'm doing, when I go into town, it's a 14-mile round trip, and I'm in town as well. And so far I've been going in every day, sometimes twice a day. Just going in for meet people for lunch and stuff like that. I found another visa agent down here. I'm going to do an interview with her on Tuesday. A lady called, her company's called Smile Visa. She's in a quieter area than Mark and Patty, but she does the same thing. She does a lot of visas for guys who want to come out here and live full time, but they're in their own country. They want it before they come out to Thailand. So I'm going to interview her on Tuesday. That should be quite interesting. Nice lady. Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Dave, because I was looking how to make it on YouTube the other day, and it is very easy. It's just there's just 3 or 4 ingredients, and I am going to give it a go. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Maybe it might be a bit more exciting than my grass videos. Ronald, takes ages to heal the. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I looked on AI, and it says if it's cracked, you'll never be comfortable, even in bed, even if you're standing. It said if it hurts when you sit down on it, but you're comfortable in bed or when you're standing, it's only bruised. And it said it will take between 2 and 6 weeks before the pain will alleviate. It's now been about 2.5 weeks, and it's much better. It still hurts, like I'm still moving about. But when I used to stand up off the chair, it was real agony. I used to hold both seats like this. I'd come up slowly, and I'd get to that point where I knew once I lifted, it was going to be like a dagger going up my jacksie, And but I don't have it that bad anymore. Okay, Martin, went to Morocco last week for £30 return, similar prices to Thailand, but no mongering. Yeah, Europe, right? Colin, that's the only thing that worries me about being here: retirement funds and ways to make income when too old to work. Well, of course, if you're wherever you come from, you're going to get a government pension, aren't you? But of course, the biggest worry is getting sick, because I'm trying to use a government hospital now because I was quite impressed with it. And, there's a lot of hanging around, but, some of them doctors in the government hospitals, they go to private hospitals, they go around and you don't get this. You've seen the video I did, most of you. Okay. You don't get the service like you do in a private hospital. You go in there and there's a nice nurse, she smiles at you and she brings you to where you should wait. Then she comes and gets you with a smile. She takes you to the doctor. Then she walks you to where you get your pharmacy. And then she waits with you. And then she comes and cash you. In a public hospital, you have to find it all yourself. You go to the reception, you fill out a form, tell them what's wrong. They stamp it. You take it to another 3rd floor, room 5. They look at it. They stamp it. Then you go. But eventually, you go in to see a doctor who speaks English. You tell them what you want, and like I say, if you watch that video, I got a 4-month supply of medicine, which would cost me 6,000 baht in a pharmacy, cost me 450 baht for the same medicine in a government hospital. So yeah, you can do it on a budget, but there's you got to remember things like emergencies. If you fall down and you have to be in hospital, things like that. Maybe you could live out here some of the time. I know guys out here. There's a friend of mine out here. He's 70 actually. He does 3 months here. Then he goes back to the UK. He's a pensioner. He does 3 months here. Then he does 3 months UK. Then he goes 3 months Kampot in Cambodia because that's very, very cheap. And then he'll go home for a couple of months. And he does a kind of magic roundabout. He's like 3 months in each country. How far is the beach from your home? I thought you brought somewhere near the beach. No, you buy somewhere near the beach is very, very expensive. It's prime real estate. But the good thing about here, as I keep saying, it doesn't take long to get to anywhere because you don't have the congestion. It takes me 15 minutes to get to the beach. If I get on my scooter and I go now, 15 minutes, I'm at the beach. That's not a big deal, is it? If we hadn't lived out here, we couldn't have got this real nice 3-bedroom house. We just wouldn't have been able to get the mortgage. She wouldn't have been able to get the mortgage. So that's another one that comes up, Martin. They say, will your state pension be frozen? In theory, yes, but I've still got a UK address. I've still got the business in the UK, and we'll just leave it at that. I think you know where I'm going with that. Hua Hin Shoreline Rocks. Yeah, if you go to the main part where the Hilton is, there is a lot of rocks on the beach. There is sand as well. That's why I'm saying if you've got transport, within 20 minutes, half an hour, there's so many beautiful beaches that don't have rocks. Okay. Dan, hi Peter from Seattle. I had to cancel my trip last Thursday to Bangkok. I was in Hua Hin for a couple of weeks in December 23. I didn't get to Pattaya that trip, so was going to focus there. Bummed out. That's a shame. Yeah, you should. Pattaya is a lot of fun. Thanks, Six Enormous. I'll put that up there so you know I didn't really say a rude word. Anders, I'm having that problem when I sit and I stand up. I'll tell you what it was, Anders. I was watching Netflix. My girlfriend went to bed, and she doesn't work now, so we kind of sleep late some mornings. You know what I mean, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. And so sometimes she's tired. She'll go to bed and she'll watch some Thai TV, right? And I get into Netflix, or I've got some of these pirated channels where I can watch movies and stuff. And I think, oh, this looks good. It's 11 o'clock at night. I think, 10:30 at night. I think this looks good. And I've already had 2 or 3 beers and a couple of shots of whiskey. Okay. And I think I'll watch 10 minutes, half an hour of this, and I've got to bed. And I get into it, and I'm like, what time does it finish? 1 o'clock. Okay, I'll watch it. Get up at 9 tomorrow instead of 8. And then I continue drinking, and you don't realize. And I got up off the sofa, and I actually fell down right on my backside, and I really hurt myself. That's the worst I've ever had. And I knocked the top off the glass table. I tried to catch myself, and I smashed the TV. That was another 10,000 baht I had to replace. And yeah, I mean, I've never been in that state before. Yeah, I just said hi to him. Ronald, Peter, I don't understand why you don't get private health insurance, even if they don't insure you against heart attack. There's plenty of other benefits of health insurance. Well, Ronald, the reason for that, it's a good question, but the reason for that is I'm not really worried about anything else, okay? Everything is payable. The worst thing is heart attack and stroke. That's the most likely thing. That's why I keep having the test. You know, I had the ink pumped through me to see how my 3 main arteries were. They were clear. 2 of them were very clear. One of them was 15%. Doc said, don't worry about it. Come back in a couple of years. But, you know, good insurance costs a lot of money. I mean, why should I shell out, I don't know, 50, 60, even 70,000 baht a year and I have a heart attack and they won't touch me? I just won't do it. So I'd rather I've got 1 million baht in the bank that I'm getting good interest on, okay, here, for an immediate emergency, okay? My girlfriend worked in a hospital before. And because of my situation, you know, that money, you imagine if I live to be 85, 90, and let's just say 70,000 baht a year. That's not a big amount to pay for insurance. But you imagine I'm paying 70,000 baht a year for 10 years, 15 years. You know, what I could have done with that money. And if I've got money for an immediate emergency, then I'm not too worried, am I? It's only long term. Maybe I'd have to go back, you know, and use the NHS. And then people say, oh, after 2 years, they won't treat you. Well, that's rubbish. That's what they say in theory. But if you've got a serious illness and you go back to the UK, they're not going to say, no, we're not going to treat you because you haven't been here for 2 years. They'll treat you. They treat anybody at the end of the day, don't they? So, you know, I'd rather do it that way. And this is one of the reasons I've been exploring. Here we go again. Oh, this is one of the reasons I've been exploring positively the general hospital here in Hua Hin, because most people say, oh, I don't want to go to a public hospital. It takes too long and 400 people in there. And it's not as bad as people say it is. It's very professional. And in fact, this medicine's the same. The treatment's the same. You get the odd people who say, oh, yeah, no, I went in there and they nearly killed my mate. And, you know, you take it with a pinch of salt. But I think, you know, if I got a good stack of money put away, I start using the government hospital, which is pretty good down here in Hua Hin. I think I can save a lot of money. It's a principle as well. I'm not paying for expensive insurance, and then they turn around and say, no, we're not paying out. It's as simple as that. And I don't think I can add to that, to be honest. A lot of people talking to each other here. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your name there. Is it Show Mary? Pete, I heard that England is taking talking about moving retirement age up to 70. What a shame. And they'll even raise it up to 75, 77 one day. But for me, I start getting mine June of 2006. It's in the Government Gateway website now. And once they give you a date when you're going to get paid, whatever rules change, you've got granddad rules, you'll get it on that day. I'm not going to get the full amount. I'm going to get about 800 baht a month. That's all. I was going to leave it in there till I'm 70 and get about 42,000 baht a month. Well, in pounds, what's that? I don't know, 900 pounds a month, 880. But somebody quite rightly said to me, well, look, they're only going to tax it. You might as well just take it now and stick it in a bank, somewhere. So that's what I'll do. I don't really need my state pension now. But when I start receiving it next year, I'll just put it in a separate account and I'll just let it build up. And maybe I'll need that to go to the hospital one day. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard that, Mark. You say taking aspirin a day reduces heart attack risk, but I don't want, I'm already on statins and people say, oh, statins aren't good for you and all this. I'm on about 4 tablets a day and I don't want to start taking like more and more tablets. I prefer to go to the hospital and have full tests. They can see your arteries, they can tell what your blood sugar count is, everything like that. And that way I know if I'm kind of, I've just come off one of those weight loss pens because I tried to get my 4th month down here and they wanted 17,000 baht and thought, no, I'm not paying that. I was paying 12,500 baht a month in Bangkok for the 5 milligram and 17,000. I thought, no, I've just got to watch what I eat, Anders, that sounds painful. I'm sorry it happened to you. I think my issue is from being overweight and sitting for many hours straight every day. I don't want to preach, but it does make a big difference. If you go and walk 20 minutes a day, just 20 minutes, you don't have to go mad. You just go out once a day for 20 minutes, like 4 or 5 times a week. It makes a massive difference to your health. Massive difference. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I've spoken to several doctors. I meet doctors and I watch online doctors, not the quacks who give out false information. But it does, when you get older, if you can do a 20-minute to half an hour walk 4 or 5 times a week, that's why I make the effort. Even though I've hardly got anywhere good to walk here, I go over the road to where I was saying before and I walk for half an hour tonight. Hot Jockey says self-insurance I also think is the best. Just one last comment, personal comment from me on health insurance. Like somebody asked the question, why don't you get it? Now, I'm 66, okay, and I could probably still get it now. But once you start getting up to 70, 73, 74, they're very reluctant to insure you because of your age, because you are going to have health issues, right? And the other thing is, if they do insure you, you're going to be paying massive amounts of money. And I don't have massive amounts of money to spend on insurance. So, I'm 66. You've seen the 3 years that I've been here. It's gone so quickly. The next 3 years is going to go quickly. And then the next 3 years. And then, we won't insure, even though you've been paying us all that money for 12 years, 13 years. You're too old now. We don't want to insure you. I hope so, Paul. You're saying, will you still be doing a live stream? Funny enough, I put into Chat GPT the other day, I'm 66. I've been doing this for nearly 6 years. Will people get bored of my content and will I lose subscribers? And they said, unless you lose your health or your mind or you get dementia, if you keep putting stuff out, yeah, you lose subscribers every day. But, there are people, you'll get new people all the time. So that's good to know. I lose a lot of subscribers, but then I get a lot of new subscribers. Jesse, how you doing? Long time no hear. Good evening, my friend. 15 minutes, not bad, not far. Also, us youngsters fall on our backsides too. I slipped and went full turtle mode right there on Soy 7 Nana BTS when my drone disconnected. Fair point. I hope you're doing well, and I hope your lovely wife is doing well as well. The difference when you're half the age to what I am, your body probably would have repaired in about a week, whereas for me it's going to take 6 weeks. When you get older, it's longer, isn't it? Yeah, Martin Ryder says most of the A&E are foreigners as they are not registered with a GP. Yeah, they don't in the UK. They will treat you for they might not see you for an everyday thing, but if you've got something serious, they will. No, I said £800 a month. I might have said 800 baht, slip of the tongue. So I said, when I get my pension, Franco gets the full amount. He told me he's getting 900 a month, and it's going up £900, which is about, I don't know, nearly $1,000. It's pathetic, really, in the UK. I didn't pay in. I've just, about a year ago, I sent about £1,200 because I could top up 7 years. That was a maximum because I was only going to get 156 a month. I topped it up and it's gone up to about 208 a week. and it was 156 a week. So I'll get a substantial amount more now. Crypto Chris says state pension started at 70, went down to 65, now back to 70. Where's that, Chris? Because not in the UK. It's still 66 in the UK. Yeah, Elite Massage, thank you for the message, but I don't really do advertising like that on here, okay? Right, Martin Ryder, UK state pension is 40,000 baht a month. Okay. Yeah, that's a full state pension. It's actually about 42,000, Martin, depending on the exchange rate, but I'll only get 35. Yeah, just to the person who was doing the advertising there, it's just something I don't do. I don't advertise products or stuff. It's just not, I'm just here to talk to people. We talk to each other about Thailand. We don't, I don't do any promotion, anything like that. Okay. Yeah, did I say 206? I think he meant he gets the pension in 2026. Yeah, I get mine June of 26. So I went into the government gateway site, checked it out, and that's when I discovered it was low actually 2 years ago. And I phoned my accountant up from here, and she said, "Well, you can top it up," and she talked me through it, and it's a much better amount now. Thai Billy Boy says 965 20 state pensions every 4 weeks. Okay, and as that's true, I will definitely do that. Thanks. And the other thing, Asles, if you are overweight, I lost a lot of weight a few years ago. I lost about 20 kilos. I used to get bad knees. One day it'd be the left knee, another day it'd be the right knee. But when you lose the weight, that just goes away. There's so many things that you benefit from when you lose the weight. And I know from experience, because like I say, I lost 20 kilos and there were so many things that I didn't feel wrong with me anymore. But it's easier said than done, isn't it? That's a good one. I don't think so. Everybody I meet and tell them about this one, they say you got to stay away from those lady boys. I'm not into lady boys. I've got a real girlfriend. I mean, a real female girlfriend. Thanks very much for that, Bijan. Might bump into you one night somewhere, hopefully. If you don't get health insurance before 70, it's going to be almost impossible to get one after. France is the only country that covers their expats abroad. Socialism. If I was going to get it, it would be here anyway. It would be with someone like Pacific Cross, who I was talking to in the early days. I wouldn't get one in the UK anywhere like that. But like I said to you, if you're over 70, they're just going to, even if you have the insurance, they're going to just charge so much money. If you're going to be on a low income, which I might be one day, I'm just not going to be able to afford it. So, thank you, Kurt. Right. I'm going to answer a few more. I've got about 5 minutes left. I know I disappeared for 5 minutes tonight, but I can't extend it because I've got the members stream in 20 minutes. And if that starts late and people haven't been watching this one, they're going to think, well, where's the stream? So I've got to keep to the times, So let's get through a few more of these before I'm off. Paul, do Thais get pensions? They don't get official pensions, but when they're very, very old, they get a little bit of money from the government, but it's meager. It's something like 300 baht a month or something. Really a low amount. Chili Thai says it's 67 in the UK now. True. Neil, you look much younger than your age. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. But that's because I try and look after myself. I don't smoke. I exercise regular. I'm a little bit overweight. But I try to look after myself. And I'm pretty lucky as well. I've never really, I think I've got pretty good genes, not Levi's, body genes, Thai Billy Boy, Peter, have you been to Macro in Hua Hin? I have stayed in a condo opposite there. Yeah, so it's right opposite Nissan, where the tunnel is. They're extending the tunnel, by the way. The problem is, I don't cook loads here. It's really bulk shopping there, is it? And I don't think it's cheaper than Big C. I was in Big C and I compared prices in Metro, and I didn't find it cheaper at all. Actually, Big C is very cheap now. They wanted to do that in the UK, Jeff. They wanted to means test it, but they they backflipped on it because people didn't. The government, went against them. Dave, do you mean Marmite, Vegemite? Yeah, that's what I meant, and you can get that here. Mel, how does digital ID affect you? I don't have it. They haven't brought it in yet, have they? They're trying to bring it in. Anders, me and my friends joke a lot that we might get drunk in Thailand and wake up in the morning with pain in the behind and turn around in bed and see a ladyboy. It's not so much yeah, I mean, guys have done that. They've actually gone out, got drunk. I don't know why I'm looking at the pillows. You're here, right? Guys go out in places like Pattaya and they see a very pretty ladyboy and they've never tried it and they get inquisitive and they think, why not? And yeah, that situation you've just described, I think it happens to some people and I think they regret it. Okay, I knew it was a small amount. D&E says Thais get 600 baht when they get to 60 years old. Okay, so I mean, it's hard. They get a little bit of a handout. I mean, 600 baht, that's like that's about 12 quid, $14. I mean, what can you buy with that? I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's yeah, I said 300. I knew it was a very small amount. Thank you for confirming that, D. Gringo Puppy said the staff at Nubakara miss you. They're scrumptious food. Yeah, I'm glad you tried it. It's very good in there, is it? I'll go back when I go back up there in February for a couple of days. I'll go and see them. Right, somebody else saying that mother-in. Are you sure that's not 6,000? No, it's a low amount, Chris. It's 600. It's not 6,000. My girlfriend actually mentioned it because I asked her the question. Okay. Guys, I'm going to have to call it a night now. I know a lot of you are members, so I'll see you in 15 minutes' time. Sorry about the outage. Like I said, I've got to stick to the schedule. Members are going to wonder where I am. As always, look, thank you for the few guys who gave me the super chat there. I do appreciate it. As always, a few more beers over there in Luna Market. And Chris, thank you for keeping an eye on everybody. Thanks for everyone. If you're a member, then I'll be back in 15 minutes' time. I've got the Spot the Thai Girl tonight. Spot the Ladyboy, Joke of the Week. I've got the Manga Minute and a whole bunch more, and some of the quirky stories of things that have been going on, like the guy who they said committed suicide by jumping off a balcony when they found him. He had his hands handcuffed behind his back in a black plastic bag. Sorry, it wasn't a balcony. They found him in his bathroom. Right, with that, I shall say good night to you. If you're a member, I'll see you in 15 minutes time. If you're not a member, I'll try and do a stream next Sunday when I'm on another beach near you, as they say. Until then, hopefully we won't have any more technical issues. That's been 3 weeks now, hasn't it? I'll catch you real soon. Thanks, guys.